And good afternoon. Welcome to God Conversation. Today, our topics are birthday cakes and pictures. Today is June 22nd. I am one of six kids in my nuclear family. I'm number five out of six. I had one sister and four brothers, two brothers who are still alive. Today happens to be the birthday, or would have been the birthday, of one of my older brothers, and I'm going to hold up two pictures here and ask the camera person to zero in on it for a bit. This is my brother Bruce. I'll just leave it at he's 6 years older than me. You guys can do the math. This picture was taken in 2015 at his daughter's wedding. That's my niece there, and that picture was taken at the wedding. Of the six of us, Bruce and I are the two that look the most alike. We both had the auburn red hair. We both freckled. We both had brown eyes, but there were some differences for sure. He's right-handed. I'm left-handed. And when we were kids, he constantly teased me about being left-handed, being a southpaw, being, quote, backwards, because I needed to do everything from play sports to use silverware differently than he did, because he was right-handed and I was left-handed. But we had personalities that were a lot alike too. So that's a picture of him at his daughter's wedding that was actually a little bit less than a year before he passed away. And here's another picture of him in his uniform as a police officer. He served as a police officer for many years. His first career, he was working in an office, and that company decided to downsize, and they offered people buyouts, and he took it and decided, you know what, I want to go be a police officer. So he went to the police academy and became a police officer. For a while, he served as a detective. He and I, of the people in our family, he and I had the same near photographic memory. It's one of the things that made him a good cop, because he could be investigating a crime scene or interviewing a suspect and witnesses. And if somebody changed their story in the slightest detail, he would remember the details, just like I have, or had until my own husband's passing. I'm getting my memory back a bit, but that widow brain, that's a real thing. But Bruce had the same kind of near photographic memory that I did. His birthday is today. Our youngest brother's birthday was yesterday. And when we were kids, Mom would always make a birthday cake for each child on their birthday, whatever flavor they wanted. When my youngest brother was born, Bruce was worried that from the rest of his life, he'd have to share a cake, because after all, their birthdays was only one day apart. Mama heard him express that fear, and she always made it a point that we had two separate cakes in the month of June, one on Robert's birthday and one on Bruce's birthday. The good news was our family was big enough to where neither cake went to waste. Everybody had their own favorite flavor. As a young person, Mama would make German chocolate cakes for Bruce. My favorite cake was lemon cake. As an adult, Bruce liked what we call the oatmeal cake that sometimes I have made and use. It was always a holiday treat, and Mama would always see to it that Bruce got the first piece of oatmeal cake when it came hot out of the oven at Thanksgiving and Christmas parties. But as an adult, he also liked carrot cake. And one of the ways that his widow and his son and daughter and their grandkids now honor and remember him, because he died 6 years ago, is that they'll always have carrot cake on his birthday. Why do we do things like that? Why do we have things like pictures and certain rituals, things that we do to remember somebody? Because they're a part of us, and even when they've passed, even when they've gone, it's a way of keeping their memory alive, of being able to smile as you're enjoying the piece of cake, as you're looking at the pictures, as you're fondly remembering the memories of a loved one. We can use those not only to help ourselves get over our grief by having fond memories and honoring somebody's life, but we can also talk to people in our families about ways that we can acknowledge the fact that, you know what, God created families. And God was the one who designed it so that a man and a woman would meet and would raise children in a home. And so when you're looking at things like somebody's wedding album, or you're looking at somebody's baby pictures or their graduation pictures, you can talk about the fact that God has designed the home to be a place of nurturing, that it takes teamwork, that it takes mom and dad working together to raise the children properly, that the children have to learn all kinds of things, not just life skills. Like my brother was fond of showing his son how to work with tools, because Bruce was good with tools. And I had fun as an adult because I realized very quickly on that God likes me. If I could have picked any one member of my large extended family to be left-handed, it would be the son of my brother who teased me so badly about being left-handed when I was a child. He's right-handed. My sister-in-law is right-handed. No reason why he couldn't have had both a son and a daughter who are right-handed. But his son is a lefty like me. And occasionally I would tease him about it as an adult and tell him, God's paying you back for all the teasing you did to me. Because now he understands, because he has to show his son, who is now an adult, he had to show his son how to use tools, how to turn wrenches and things. And his son's way was my way, not dad's way. So you can have fun, you can tease in a loving way. You can recognize the fact that God cares about all of us, that he makes us each unique, that we have different skills and abilities. He had to teach his son how to use tools. He had to teach both of his children how to drive vehicles when they came old enough. All kinds of things that you teach and pass along to the next generation. Our lives are filled with good moments, and occasionally they're interrupted with tragic moments. It was a tragic moment when my brother passed away. Nobody was expecting it. He hadn't shown any signs of any illness, and it was a shock to everybody in the family. But as they met to mourn, to remember, and in the time since then, as they have learned to move forward with life, there are traditions that they keep, and there are celebrations that they keep, and there are some things that they do a little bit differently just to honor his presence among them. He's always in their hearts, always in their minds, even though he's not physically with them anymore. And we can use that as a God conversation too. Depending upon the age of the children in your home, you can talk to them about the fact that no, they can't see God, but they can talk to him through prayer, that they can see evidence of God, that they can see how God cares for them through the beauty of nature, through the pet that they love, through the way that we have love in our hearts for each other, that we can see evidence of God inside each of us. So if he was still around today, down here on earth, I would have picked up the phone and called him. Wouldn't have done me much good to send him a Facebook message, because I'm pretty sure that the Facebook page was managed by my sister-in-law, not by my brother. But I do remember that my brother passed away in early August of 2016, and he happened to be down in Panama City. He and his wife had a vacation home down there, a camper that they would have put up, and they were down there on vacation. And a week before he passed, it was my birthday. And he called on my birthday just to wish me a happy birthday. We had a good conversation. It turned out to be the last time that he and I ever spoke. The next telephone I got from that side of the family was a week later, a little over a week later, when my sister-in-law called to tell me that he had suddenly passed away. And I raced down from where I live here in Enterprise to Panama City to be with my sister-in-law as she was processing the enormous shock of the sudden passing of our loved one. Families do that. You gather together in good times and in bad times. You're there to bear one another's burdens. You're there for each other. My brother was there for me. Yeah, because we were brother and sister. Sometimes it was a teasing, kidding relationship. But sometimes there were serious things that we had to talk about when it came to things like taking care of mom and dad as they started to age and have issues. You can use those times to have conversations about how families work, how we show love for each other, how we meet each other's needs, how sometimes we sacrifice for each other when there's a need to be had. You can weave God into everyday life through simple things. Mama showed her love to each of her children by making sure that she knew what was our favorite flavor of cake and seeing to it that we got our favorite on our special day. We show love to one another by the little things that we do, by looking at the pictures, by sharing the stories, by honoring the lives. Thanks for watching.